most interesting things that you've seen at ITMA from your companies maybe, but also from other companies? What's best here? Yeah, Reshma, maybe you can start.
Yeah, so my name is Reshma Bhansing. I'm a marketeer at Neenah Coldenhove. Neenah Coldenhove is a paper manufacturer founded in 1661, and we are based in the Netherlands. We have been a family business for many years, but as of 2017, we are part of the Neenah Group. Neenah Coldenhove is the inventor and manufacturer of dye sublimation transfer papers. And we have, the past few years, we have been working on a new invention, textile paper. We have launched it at ITMA as well. It is a paper for natural fibers, also for pigment inks. So yeah, and I'm very honored and excited to be part of this panel discussion, and I'm looking forward to share with you my view on the cleaner future. Yeah.
Marco.
Yeah, my name is Marco Zanella. I am Managing Director of INX Digital Italy. It's part of the Sakata INX group. We are quite a newcomer in the textile business. Also, the Sakata INX group is the third largest ink manufacturer in the world. And we have a strong core technology for dispersing pigments. So we are presenting here at this exhibition a set of our inks. And I believe that this will be a buzz for a while in the industry for the years to come. I mean, pigment printing.
Good. This is Şengün. Nice to meet you. Good afternoon. MKS was a chemical company which is doing giant amounts, about 120,000 tons per year, with manufacturers, including textile. This niche application of digital printing, we are using the raw material, even the ink formulator, but even that we have our own product range, which is we are focusing on the line, which is the knife head, turn right is the environmental issues, left right is the real application. So we are keeping the MKS Devo chemicals in the thin layer. So we try to find some solutions for sustainable future. So the issue of the clean future is very fit to us. So I want to be there. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you all for taking part. So this is a great panel focused on consumables in the industry and the sustainability issues surrounding that. So I'll just see if there's any questions from the audience. I obviously have some prepared, but are there any questions for our panelists about sustainability in the digital textile printing space? Or maybe some will come up when we're talking. Okay, I'll crack on. So when we talk about a cleaner future and we're looking at digital textile printing or printing on textiles more broadly, just in case those in the room haven't been involved in these kind of discussions before, could you each talk a little bit about where you see the critical issues to address in terms of sustainability for digital textile printing are, and areas that it does address as a technology and future work that needs to be done? I don't know who would like to start on that.
Yes, please. First of all, ladies, I believe.
Well, when I look at our business field, I see that the interest in sustainable initiatives is much more dependent on geography. For example, companies that are based in Europe and USA are much more into sustainability initiatives compared to other companies based in other parts of the world. This is one point. Another point that we also see is that the interest in sustainable initiatives also depends on the position of the company within the supply chain. So our direct customers, for example, they operate a little bit more in the beginning of the value chain, and we can see that they're much more focused on quality, pricing, rather than on sustainability. And I think when you look at our products, for example, our papers are made of 100% virgin fibers. That basically means that our papers contain high quality fibers that can be recycled up to 7 times. But unfortunately, a lot of our papers end up in landfill, and that's really a pity, because a lot of other applications could have been done with these papers before it ends up in landfill. And I think that has to do also with the focus of these customers, that it's not really on sustainable and more on all other fields. Customers that are operating with big brands like Nike and Under Armour, they tend to have more value on sustainable initiatives. That's what we see in our business field. Yeah.
I know you have a couple of slides. Is this a good time for me to
Yes,
pop on them?
I do. Yeah. So shall I
see that? Yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah, sure. What we also see is that some people in the industry, they are a little bit critical towards paper production, because paper production uses a lot of water and energy. But we as a paper manufacturer do care about the environment, and we have done a lot of investments and initiated a lot of projects in order to reduce our carbon footprint. And I actually would love to bring you all to the production facility in Eerbeek in the Netherlands to show you how we produce our papers. But unfortunately, that's not possible. So I brought a simplified version of our production process here on this slide, so that I can easily explain what we have done at our production facility. When you look at the gray part of the slide, this is basically how the production process looks like. In the first gray part is where the pulp is produced, and then it goes into the second part where the production is produced, where the paper is produced. And during the paper production, a lot of energy is released. And what do we do with this energy? So the energy goes first into the heat treatment system. And the heat treatment systems make sure that all the energy that is required in the next production batch goes back into the paper production. And what do we do with the residual heat? That basically goes into the Neenah Coldenhove offices, so that we have warm offices during winter. And the rest of the energy goes into a swimming pool. It's a public swimming pool located in Eerbeek as well, so that children have warm water when they jump into the water for swimming. So in the end, no energy is wasted, actually.
Yeah, that's really, really great. And then also for water use, I think you've got some...
Yes, and we also have invested in the water process, exactly. So when we go back to the production process, the gray part, in the first part, the pulp is produced, and during the pulp production, a lot of water is used. It then goes into the paper production. But as you can see, 95% of all the water that we use goes back into the pulp production again. And what do we do with the 5% that's left? Well, the 5% that we do not use in our pulp production goes into a water treatment plant, which is also located in Eerbeek. We are also a shareholder of this plant, and they make sure that they treat the water, and then it goes into other paper production facilities also in Eerbeek. And so also here, in the end, no water is wasted. And we are also doing investigations in order to see how we can make sure that we can reuse our water 100%, so that we have a closed loop in our production facility.
Let's go back to the building slide, I think. And Marco, from an ink manufacturer perspective, what kind of steps are you guys making for sustainability?
From the ink manufacturer perspective, first we have chosen a type of ink and during the process of during the use of that ink, we have very limited in use of water, if no water. During the manufacturing of the plant that is where we are manufacturing the ink is supplying energy through solar panel plant. So that is providing energy sufficient for running the whole operation. We are not only manufacturing digital inks into that plant, but we are also manufacturing other type of ink, non-digital, trying to limit the use of, how can I say, thermal generated power. And as a company, as a corporate, anyway, our commitment to reduce our impact or towards a sustainability of our business and the environment is also showcased by the adoption of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which are 17 major targets, then further developed into sub-tasks or sub-targets. As a company, it doesn't really fit well into this context. However, we are manufacturing inks, either disposable or completely from renewable resources. And altogether, yeah, we're trying to make the environment cleaner and reduce our impact.
Mehmet, what about from your perspective?
I don't want to talk about my company, what doing, but I am just thinking about the chemical life, what we are doing. Everything in our life is the chemistry. Normally what we are talking about, digital ink is one of the composition of the chemistry. So when you think that, I'm surprising about this situation. Textile life, I'm about 50 years old, and almost 30 years I'm in this ecosystem. And then textile life has never seen such a technology in 10 years, which is evaluation. The reason is in textile life, this kind of high-tech printing head technology would not be adapted before anyone. So we are surprised, and all our clients talking about, what about the head guarantees, how it works, something. But the matter is, this is the, believe me, rocket science of this head technology. Indeed, what is the inks, gentlemen is telling that we are doing very clean and something, believe me, ink production is consuming more than 10 times than conventional. Please don't forget it. Anyway, with the ink production, we are using the same color index number last 100 years. Still we are using same. But in conventional life, it doesn't take care that much purification. But today, for the ink production, you need the ink and the pigments, like reactive pigment, disperse, whatever. It has to be PPT base purified. Right? How it can be? With the 10 times water we are consuming, with the RO system, with the UF system. So, which is the ink formulator receiving the dyes from India or China or the Taiwan, makes no sense. This is 100 years the same technology. So this is, I believe that iceberg, we are talking about the top of the iceberg, but what is going on behind that? And just, I'm giving you some examples. For 1 kilo of any textile in the ecosystem, think about the cotton. For kilo cotton fabric production, you're consuming about only 120 kilos. 120 kilos. Plus, for coloranting this, you're consuming about another 100 kilos water for the pigment production. So when we are coming back to the digital life, yes, there is a positive impact. Sure, we do not use anymore the nickel screens. We do not use any rest paste. We do not drain it. It is correct. But when you think that, we have to padding the fabric 100%, but normally we do not need. If it is white, if we do not print it over there, there is no printing-based application. So it means the application of printing-based paste increased more than 40%. So it means it is not necessary, but it is generating the another pollution in the wastewater treatment. Indeed, textile life try to adapting the digital ink printing, or maybe we will talk about our companies designing a digital dyeing it will be an impact. Yes, it is possible. But please bear in your mind, gentlemen and ladies, last 100 years we are talking about the same pigment production quality and the technology all over the world. One day in 2016, I remember in San Francisco they received sulfuric acid rain. They shocked. What's going on there? Who did this? And the nationally red alert, and they checked that what is going on. Dad, it is coming from China, from Guangzhou, one of the clouds, traveling over there and get major over there and then drop down, and everybody shocked. We think that when we kick out this high pollution technology to China, and we still think that our door is cleared, but what about the planet? Please ask all the brands, all the users, all the athletes. We are in the same ecosystem. Makes no sense. Pollution generating in China or in Turkey or in America or in Germany. Planet is only one.
So from that point then, obviously in John's presentation this morning, the survey of brands and retailers and designers, it noted that cost is still the #1 sourcing consideration when it comes to fabric and prints, and sustainability was the last consideration. So how do you think we move from that point to a point where sustainability is at least on a par with cost, if not above cost, and how does the industry move to be more sustainable? You know, you've highlighted a lot of different issues across all three of you, and also some steps forward, but where do we go from here? Where are we now and where we're going?
May I start that?
Yeah.
Again, gentlemen and ladies, I want to be there to awareing you. We cannot stop it. There is no more time. We have to run. I mean, hey, tonight, would you want to come with me? Nice dinner? No, it's not the time. We have to go. We have to do something immediately. I mean, not stepping. Digital stepping, digital dyeing, plus. No, it is not like that. Today is the final day, maybe. We have to get an action with the rush action. The matter is cost, matter is production capabilities, fast moving, and the delivering. Yes, this is it. But textile, believe me, most pollution generated industry ever in the world. When you think about the agriculture, this is another issue. But with this man-made business, we are generating huge mass. Just example for, I got it, another, in the textile life, very dramatic. In the world, 6 billion meters denim fabric producing. Nobody is talking about the denim printing, denim dyeing with the digital yet. Too late. 6 billion meters generating, you know, listen please, 180 million cubic meter wastewater. It means Caspian Sea, or 6 times Como Lake every year. That. What we are talking about, price? Which price? Just I want to tell you, cutting short. We have to understand, I believe, this 2-3 years, and we have to work on that. Water is not consumable. I would like to congratulate your company doing regenerated your water 100%. This is real approach, what we have to do. We have no chance to discharge any water, even the COD or BOD. Mystery is okay, makes no sense. Nature do not accept any more 100 COD water. There is no issue. We have to 100% recycle our water for the process. It's not consumable. Thank you very much.
Would you like to add to that?
It was very emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emotional?
It's a very critical issue.
Passionate.
Passionate.
Okay.
Please think about 30 years ago. Nobody paid for any liter water 2 euros.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I mean, I share your vision, definitely.
Yeah. Million duplication.
30 years,
Million.
30 years ago, we said it looked like the trading of the wastewater. Yeah? You cannot do the money. So you cannot get the money. You have to take it off. In the moment we saw that nobody but taking communities what I have always been asking. Why? You make, for example, in the digital printing, always polyacrylamide or polyacrylic acid. We have no constituents, and he knows me. I'm a good technician. I said, it's possible. He fixed it. The same result with the native product.
Great.
We take care of our water.
Right. I think that, I mean, we all share these concerns, but we also live we live in this world at the same time, and to resolve the issue of acting with this sense of urgency cannot come from one, okay, but only either or all together or nothing. I mean, there is no in between. Someone has to lead the action, and I think that initiatives like we had in the recent past, in the last decades, like CDHC or similar ones, have been beneficial because they created a certain push into this direction. And it's such a dramatic change into the perception of the environment cannot happen overnight, even it should happen overnight. So what we all have to do is to put every possible effort into each respective operation and R&D to reduce the use of water, because, as you said, the textile industry is the one that is consuming the most, is wasting the most, and I think that a lot of effort has been done, and also some result has been obtained. Should we multiply these for the next decade? Yes. And I think we are here for that. I mean, the industry is probably aimed into that direction. And it's not only the textile industry responsibility to, in bracket, save the world, because you just named the agriculture as another pretty dramatic situation. So we need to make the most of what we can. Nothing left behind.
Well, I have to say that I already told you during the lunch break, I was really surprised with the results of this research of John, that in the end we see a lot of initiatives from brands where they really try to be more sustainable and really are promoting and saying that they do care, but then in the end when they have to list their priorities, they still choose for the cost, and sustainability has the lowest rank. So I was really surprised to see that, and yeah, I think that with the help of the government strict regulations, I think for example China a few years ago they had to implement these stricter regulations, and it worked actually. It has improved there a little bit more, but it's a pity that it doesn't come from the companies itself. Yeah.
Has anybody got any questions or
and I would
comments,
say,
maybe?
as a user, as a consumer, we are also a big part of the driving force into that. Because yeah, brands are probably using the environmental sustainability as a more of a marketing tool rather than pure commitment. Because those brands then they end of the day they need to sell their T-shirt in the shop super cheap, and so we have a decision power there, because at least we in this room know what does it mean to have one price or another. What that price can contain.
So then, who takes responsibility? That kind of came up a little bit. Is it the consumer? Is it the brand? Is it the manufacturer? Is it the technology provider? You know, if the sustainable technologies are there, if digital is part of that, who's taking responsibility for this clean future that we
in
need?
a larger extent, if the world, if Earth is our house, responsibility is on top of everybody, right? Brands, consumer, and yeah, really everybody, every day. But that's is a commercial segment, so at every stage into the process, everybody have to sell or purchase or and manufacture. And of course, changing direction of such a long chain takes a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's an issue with price pressures at different stages in the supply chain that prevents rapid change from happening in terms of investment in cleaner, greener technologies? For example, in the digital textile printing space, the capital cost of investment in new technology can be quite high. You're all from consumables companies, so that's slightly different, but we do see that can be an issue. Do you think, do the people who have the sort of, I guess, the pricing power, which is at the end of the chain, do they have a responsibility to filter that back into the supply chain to enable investment in cleaner technologies?
Well, I have to say that, as I briefly said in the beginning of my my talk, at the fair we have launched a new product. It's a pigment transfer paper where you can transfer on natural fibers. And one of the biggest advantages of this paper is that you do not need to pre or post treat your textiles, and therefore it's a dry process. So yeah, I'm really curious if yeah. So it took a lot of attention. I saw that people were very interested in the fact that it's a dry process, but yeah, the question is are they in the end willing to invest to try this and to spend yeah investment in order to try to be more yeah, sustainable in the end.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Mehmet?
I'm the delegate of the World Digital Conference, and then I am a speech over there, and then I will tell you it takes about 4 days every year, 2 times, and they have about kind of meeting speed is about 100. Nobody talks about textile. Glass, many of packaging, many of advertisement, but not any guy giving a speech about textile life is good enough. What is the expectations of the digital developer from the textile? And you're asking opposite side. What is our expectations from digital life? And I will tell you, hybrid adaptation, like the people doing, like the ink producer, like the machine robotic producer. What we are trying to do, you know, nobody is giving us any support for the textile digitalization. I mean, digital printing or the digital dyeing. We are looking for Kyocera producing one hat, the KJ4B. We try to adapt the textile. It is for paper. Fuji producing for another Star Trek, and we try to adapt the textile. Nobody developing anything for textile. Last 5 years, I didn't hear any textile development. There's World Digital Conference. The reason is textile life is a big consuming life. Nobody can say anything to the brands. Brands want to pay for the shop, and they want to sell it more. This is the capitalism system. You want to have 5 pairs. You have another nice jacket. So it is the real scenario. On this scenario, we are looking for what we can do. Not any chemical company supporting textile life anymore. Listen, where is the buyer? Where is the hook? Where is the BASF? There is no more in the textile business. They do not support it. They cannot get back the development cost. There is no digital life investing textile. But this is reality. Textile is a big market. But we do not concern about this brands. Brands is over there. If you don't like, don't produce it. If you're going to produce it, what I'm telling that, we had an accident all over the world. And then one of the ambulance pick up us to the hospital. As a doctor, as a professional doctor, you have to check where is the most urgent point should I do. Stop the blooding out, right? But if you think about the finger broken, we will lose. We will lose the patient. Today, I will tell you, in textile, we could not find in 10 years sufficient water for the wet processing in textile life. Example for, in Turkey, where is a big textile area is Çorlu. It was, 20 years ago, water we can take from on 80 meters. Today, please careful, 480 meters, half a kilometer. And what about the regime of the water? It is 5 times less. 5 liters per second, today 1 liter per second. Where's the water? Where is the water? It's gone. So problem is, I congratulate you again, my company is doing as well. We have to recycle 100% of water, and this is today, we have to do it. Water is not consumable. Just I want the headline there. Water is not consumable.
Very interesting. Marco, do you want to add anything?
No, I think it's
Is
You
it
did
not?
quite well.
he covered
I know,
pretty
yeah.
Water is
well.
not
It
consumable.
was quite comprehensive, it's true.
I think it's
Does anybody have any questions for the
Is
panel?
anybody say that water is consumable? I mean, this is opposite way around.
I think the silent audience suggests that they agree with you.
Yeah.
So that's good. I guess one thing, my final question then is, if nobody's investing in digital, specifically for textiles, how does the textile and apparel supply chain make itself appealing to the people who are developing new technologies as the first point of call, not the third or fourth? What are your thoughts on that?
It is interesting, and the many things is going to make with the digital printing. I mean, the matter is not the digital printing, digitalization, many things. I mean, we are talking about Industry 4.0, it's a digitalization.
Yeah.
The point is, for textile, the developers, once you get them money, I mean, they cannot calculate, okay, if we realize 20% profit, it will be an interesting business. No, they are doing 10 times, multiply cost, multiply 10 times. I mean, it has to be like that. They are investing billion dollars for that. But they could not get money back from the textile industry. Funny, for everywhere in the world, where the textiles, how much money it is? So the first question is, how much money it is? Looking for cheaper? This is the reason, which is the press on the producer brand. They have to sell, they have to make a champagne, they have to sell more. So this is the main scenario. No doubt the discussion about that. But if you're asking cheap, you cannot find the technology developer on the system, on the ecosystem. Unfortunately, there is not the black scenario. Textile technology developer, like as we are here, like Total ITMA, I'm surprised, super, we have to find some adaptive technology from another industry. Like today, people doing very well. This is the only way.
I have been into this industry since before 2000.
Second World War?
No, no, before 2000 anyway. And it has always been like that, but I can say that today I see more R&D put into developing something for digital textile printing, or technology reached a level where it is easier to transfer from one application to this one, to another one. And I agree with this gentleman when he says that there is not enough resources to invest into specific R&D, technically speaking, either it is a new specific printhead or any other technical solutions dedicated to textile digital printing, because it's a market very much price driven at every stage of the chain.
Yeah.
And I'm not expecting this to change easily in the future, maybe becoming a little bit worse. It's very competitive.
Well, we don't want to end on that message,
I agree.
because we want positive. So Reshma, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I think one of the biggest advantages, of course, for digital over conventional printing is the fact that you can print on spot, reduce your stock, and by manufacturing on demand, you will also reduce the risk of having unsold clothes that need to be destroyed afterwards. So it gives more flexibility, and in the end, the high amount of water and energy savings that can be achieved when the rotary screens do not need to be washed when you change for color, for example, are all actually reasons to change to digital.
Definitely, that is a more positive note to end on. So we'll finish there, and thank you all for your comments, and I'm sure that there'll be people interested to speak with you more after this as well, because that was a very impassioned panel discussion, which I love. So thank you very much. Can we give them a round of applause, please?
Thank you.